Hi everyone, welcome back. Look what we have today. New from Makeup by Mario, these SoftSculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serums. I went to Sephora yesterday to pick these up and we're going to use them today. I have not swatched them, or that's a lie. I did swatch them in store. I have not swatched them since I've been home. So I did get 2 shades because I couldn't pick, and I figured maybe it would help you to see both shades if you're unsure of what to choose. So we're going to use them. We're going to use them a few different ways and see how multi-use they truly are. So that's what we're doing today. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube. I hope you'll subscribe if you have not already, and let's get into this new product. All right, so as I said, these are the new SoftSculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serums. I was so excited. I knew I was gonna go out and get this the day it was available in store, and I did. So I ended up getting 2 shades, mainly because I went back and forth. One minute I wanted one, then I changed my mind and wanted the other. And the lighting in Sephora, it leaves a lot to be desired. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get both. Something about me is if I have to choose between 2 things with makeup, typically a shade of a product, I will never make the choice. I will always buy both. That's my toxic trait, I suppose. But I figured we'll just get both, and maybe this will help you if you're unsure. So I got the shade Light and Light Medium. So this is what they look like. I'm sure you may or may not have seen this on social media already, but basically this is supposed to be a multi-purpose bronzing product. And one of the things I'm most excited about with this is you get a pump here, like a traditional liquid bronzer, but you also get a doe foot applicator. How smart is that? I love that they did that. So let me swatch them so you can see the shades. Now I did play around with the testers in store, and this is a very different liquid bronzer. It is very creamy and liquidy, but it dries down to almost like a powdered finish, which is very interesting and very different from what we traditionally see with this type of product. So there you go. This is Light Medium. This is Light. So you can see Light Medium is definitely warmer. Light is a little bit, I would say, more neutral, leaning slightly cool toned, but honestly I just couldn't pick. So I figured we would go ahead and I'll just get both and show you. I'm gonna kind of blend these out on my hand to show you. So there's Light Medium and there is Light. I'm kind of in between. So, or I would say most of my self-tan right now has kind of worn off. So I'm probably closer to Light right now. But when I'm self-tanned or naturally tanned, I would probably go for Light Medium. But you can see these have like they're like almost like a blurred finish. They have some sheen, like you can see, but they dry down to almost like a powdered finish. Very interesting. So on Sephora, it says it's a multi-use liquid bronzer that warms the complexion with a sun-kissed glow and softly shapes targeted areas with a sheer natural second skin finish. So it's supposed to truly be like the texture and finish your skin would naturally have. It's not super dewy and it's not really matte. It kind of falls in between. What I'm thinking for this video, because I want it to be as helpful as possible, is I want to try using this a few different ways. The first thing I really want to try, and I want to say they don't tell you to do this in the instructions. So if this doesn't work, it's clearly not intended for this purpose, but I'm wondering how this will work mixed in to a foundation or a skin tint. If you have something that is maybe a little bit light for you and you want to darken up the shade a little bit, similar to how you would use the Glowy Super Gel and maybe the Sun Glow color, or I use these in Beauty Project, this face glaze a lot. I want to see if you can do that with this. I don't know if it's intended for it because it's not listed in the instructions. It tells you you can use it on bare skin or over foundation, obviously, but I kind of want to try it mixed in first, because if I were a consumer, I would want to know if you could do that, especially since it claims to be very multi-purpose. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use this today. This is Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow, and it's a little bit light for me right now. So I was thinking of trying to mix in this with it just to see what happens. And like I said, it does not tell you to mix it in with foundations in the instructions, but it seems like maybe this would be the type of product you could do that with. Okay, so I got 1 pump of foundation and probably 1 whole pump of the bronzing serum also. Now, something else about this is a very sheer product. You could probably tell in the swatches, it's not a lot of pigment. So it's not going to give you a ton of bronze because it's just very sheer in pigment. But I kind of wanted to try this and just see. Because you know how, I know we all have products that maybe during certain times of the year don't work as well because the shade is kind of off. So it's nice to have products like this that you can use to mix in, you know? I am gonna blend this in with my BK Beauty 106. I basically just wanted to see if it does anything weird to the formula if you mix this. So hopefully it does not. But like I said, it's not super pigmented, so it's not gonna add a ton of the bronze color, but it might help a little if you have something that's just slightly too light. All right, so that applied beautifully, mixed in with the foundation. No pilling, nothing weird is happening. Sometimes when you mix things, you have to be careful because sometimes certain formulas are a little bit trickier to mix in with things. That's why I wanted to do this, but I think this looks beautiful, beautiful. The only thing I would say is because it's a sheer liquid bronzer, it's not gonna really alter the shade. So it might not work if you really need to drastically change the shade, but I mean, this looks so good actually mixed in with that Makeup Forever. So this retails for $36 and it comes in 7 shades. I forgot to say that in the beginning. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my concealer. I'll come back and we will apply this over the foundation and see what we think about that as well. I did use the shade Light, by the way, mixed with that foundation, but in a minute, we'll do light on one side and light medium on the other side so you can see both. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, I did my concealer. Let's move into applying these over foundation. So we'll start with the shade Light. Now, obviously you could pump it out like I did earlier when I mixed it, or you could use the doe foot applicator. I'm gonna use the doe foot this time. It's shaped like this. It's kind of a small little, kind of a fatter doe foot that has the angled tip there, but let's just apply this. I do have his brush that he recommends for this, which is the F4, I believe. Pretty sure this is the F4. So this came out with his foundation, but it has a larger end and a smaller end, and I believe this is what he's been using in the promos to apply it. So we will use that, and let's apply. So we'll start with Light over here. I have no idea how much to apply, so I'm using the small end to blend, so that blended pretty much instantly. It's so thin feeling on the skin. It doesn't really feel like a makeup product. It feels more like a serum, which is what the name says. So that is one layer. So definitely you have some playtime with this. Very sheer. You can see we got some color, but it's not anything intense by any means. All right, let's add a little bit more and just see what happens. I didn't get any more product on out of the bottle, by the way. I just used what was left on the doe foot. So yeah, you really can apply this in layers if you want a little bit more because it is very sheer. But you can see, like, I don't know if it picks up on camera, but it like sets down. It's the weirdest thing. It's like a liquid, but then as soon as you blend it, it becomes like a skin finish, a natural finish. I also want to say it's not glittery at all. The sheen that you're seeing is a really fine radiance. You can even see it in the bottle if you look really close, but it's not glitter or shimmer. It just has this beautiful little bit of pearlescence to it, but it's not anything overly glowy. Okay, let's go in with light medium. It says to shake it up, so I'm just gonna make sure I shake mine really well, and we will go in with light medium on the other side. Now, light medium, like you could see in the swatches earlier, is deeper and it's definitely a warmer color. Start with that when I go overboard. And I'm gonna use the same brush for this. It's such an interesting texture on the skin. It's so hard to explain. I mean, it does not feel like makeup. It feels just thin and almost like watery on the skin. Okay, but I'm loving the blendability on this. So do you see that? So see, I'm kind of glad that I got both of these colors now so I could show you, because light medium looks a good bit darker if you look in the bottle. So like this is light medium, this is light, but on my skin, blended out, I mean, it's not a huge difference. This is only one application of light medium, and then this is 2 applications of light, but I think they both work. And like I said, I'm that person, I won't choose between things. If I can't decide, I just get both. Definitely probably not the best trait to have, but there you go. All right, let's add a second layer over here as well, just so you can see. This brush, by the way, the F4 brush, does apply it really beautifully. You could use whatever brush you have that you like. I definitely think you're gonna wanna use a brush with this. I don't think a sponge would work with this at all because it's so thin. I feel like the sponge would just pick up all your product. All right, so here's light medium on this side and light on this side. So yes, there is a difference, but on the skin, once you blend it out, there's not a dramatic difference. So if you're in between shades, I don't think you could go like super wrong with the shades on these because they're so sheer. I do have to say though, I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful on my skin. I love it. I am at the end, after I finish my makeup, I'm gonna go ahead and compare this to his other products. So the skin enhancer, the shaping stick, even to like Sun Glow from Say or the N Beauty Project face glaze. I'm going to show you swatches of the differences of those, but this I would say right off the bat, I think this is even a little bit more sheer than this. This is also very sheer, the skin enhancer. I love this product, as you can see, but this is a totally different texture. This is balmy. I mean, this almost has like an oily kind of texture to it. So if you have oily skin and this is not it for you, you might really like this because this doesn't really dry down, whereas this does. So that's one big difference. I do think you get just a little bit more pigment with the skin enhancer than you do with the new bronzing serum. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and we'll kind of go over his other products and other products that are similar to this at the end of the video. But I mean, my first impression of it is I think this is a beautiful product. I don't know that every makeup style is gonna love this. I think this is definitely for the light makeup, no makeup, minimal makeup lovers out there. If you like a lot of coverage and just more opacity in your products, this is probably not going to be for you. This is for minimal makeup. Light just looks like your skin, but better. That's what this is. But I'm going to go ahead and do my makeup and I'll be back. Not quite finished with my makeup yet, but I'm going to do one more thing with this just to try it. I'm going to use this on my eyes too. So I'm going to grab, this is the light shade, and I'm just grabbing it directly on an eyeshadow brush. And I'm just gonna apply this here. I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but I'm gonna do it. This would be like a really cohesive way to do a very bronzy, no makeup look. I'm gonna take what's left on the brush underneath. Love the color of light. It's a really nice tone. I think that's all I'm gonna do, honestly, is just leave this on its own, and I kind of want to see if it creases, if it stays. I'm gonna wear this makeup all day long, and I will leave comments in the description box, but I'm gonna see how this works as eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. All right, finished the rest of my makeup, and I wanted to go over this product compared to some of the other similar products that you may own, or you may wonder what the difference is. So first thing is, obviously we kind of talked about this earlier, but this is his skin enhancer. I also love this, but this is definitely a very different product. It is kind of a oily, almost balmy, still sheer, but it has a totally different texture to it. It's like a balmy tint. So you can see how glowy that is. That's the shade Light Medium. And I will compare the serum in Light Medium right under that. This is Light Medium right here in the Bronzing Serum. And then above it is the Skin Enhancer. So hopefully you can see this here. This is even more sheer than the Skin Enhancer. This is almost like a watery texture. When I was applying it, that's how I was describing it, was kind of a watery feel as you're blending it in. So you can see there how sheer it is. The Skin Enhancer is also a sheer product, but it's not quite as sheer as this. So that's the main difference, I would say, is the finish, and the serum is even more sheer and less pigmented than the Skin Enhancer. And then he also has the shaping sticks, which this is for a full-on makeup look. Like, this is very opaque cream. So there's a very big difference with this as well. I would say most sheer is the serum, then the Skin Enhancer, then the SoftSculpt Shaping Stick. All of these are in the shade Light Medium. But you can see, or I hope you can see how the serum has kind of, like, it's set down, like it's not moving. This one up here, the Skin Enhancer, it doesn't ever fully set down. It doesn't stay as oily or balmy as it does when you first apply it, but it definitely doesn't set down. Whereas the Bronzing Serum, definitely, after you blend it, it does set down to almost a powdered finish. So if you have oily skin, you would probably prefer the finish of the Bronzing Serum. It is just a little less pigmented though. Okay, now let's compare to some of the other bronzing products that I have. So this is the Say Glowy Super Gel in Sun Glow, which looks like this. So this has a lot more pigment to it than this from Mario, and this is more, I would say this is a little bit more metallic on the skin than this product. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, but this is a little bit of like a golden bronze metallic kind of color, and this is the shade Sunbeam. Now let me swatch Light Medium in the Bronzing Serum next to it. So this is the bronzing serum. Do you see? This one has less pigment and it's not as metallic as the Say Sun Glow. I could definitely say 100% just with using these, the new product one time, I prefer the Mario for sure over the Sun Glow. Do you see the difference there? See how almost like Tin Man metallic-y that is? Whereas this has some radiance to it, but it's nowhere near that. And this one's more sheer than this. Then I also have in Beauty Project Face Glaze in the bronze color. So I'll swatch this next to the serum as well. So this is in Beauty Project right here in the bronze color, which is honestly kind of similar to the Say one. It's not quite as metallic or as pigmented as the Say one, but the finish is very similar to it. Again, you can see here, this is a lot more metallic than this. This keeps that little bit of sheen, but it doesn't look shimmery or glittery. This in Beauty Project and the Say in Sun Glow, if you look really close to these formulas, you can see little flecks of shimmer in these, whereas you can't with this, but you still have that little bit of a skin-like sheen. All right, one final comparison I want to make here is to the Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, because I know that's another thing that most people are gonna wonder about in comparison to this product. So again, this is light medium in the serum, and this is Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 4.5. So the shades are obviously not similar, but again, the Charlotte Tilbury has like a metallic-y finish to it. It has some pigment. Honestly, I think the Charlotte Tilbury has more pigment even than the Mario Bronzing Serum, and it's way glowier. Very metallic, like Tin Man, like you can see there. See how much shinier that is than this? All right, so moving into my final thoughts on this. First of all, I did also want to say that I think you could definitely underpaint with this, put this all over your face, and then do concealer or foundation or whatever you're doing. However, with that, because it is so sheer, I think you would have to apply a good bit of it in order to still see it coming through, but I'm sure you could also use it that way. They do say you can also wear it on bare skin. I think this would be a beautiful product on bare skin. And I think this is for the person that likes light, everyday, your skin but better, no makeup kind of looks, because you could see even when I applied 2 layers of it, it's still very sheer. So I don't think it really matters too much what shade you choose. You could probably get away with multiple shades in this, and it's just a sheer product. So for me, this is the type of thing I love, because this is the kind of makeup I do 9 times out of 10. I love a sheer, balmy product. I also love the skin enhancer, and I'm sure people are probably wondering if you can like layer them. I think you could probably layer this over the top of the bronzing serum, but with that, I also think this is probably going to be the most beautiful not layered with other powders and other cream bronzers, because what's so pretty about it is the sheerness and just the very effortless watery texture of it. I don't know that I would want to cover it up with more products, but you could definitely, I would assume, layer the two. You could also layer powder bronzer over this, but again, you kind of lose the beauty of it, in my opinion, which is that really sheer, beautiful, natural finish. So for me, I love it. I think I'm actually glad I bought 2, because I will definitely wear both. I think one will be better when I have less color, light medium will be better when I have a little bit more, but honestly, I could get away with either one. And I think this is right up my alley, this type of product. Now, I don't know how it will wear on my skin. I am going to wear this all day long, and I will make sure to update the description box if I think it wears away or just how it looks at the end of the day overall. I also have it on my eyelids, so I kind of want to see how it does on my eyes as well by the end of the day. For me, I think it's a beautiful product. I will absolutely continue to use it, and I think for the right person, this is going to be probably one of your go-to products for summer. I also love how watery and sheer and thin it is, especially when we're going into the hotter months. If you're in the United States, it's about to get very, very hot here. I live in the South, it's very hot here. So a thin product like this is ideal for me personally for every day when it's hot. I don't like something super thick on my skin. So yes, do I recommend it? Yes, I absolutely do. But just know it's very sheer and it's not going to give you a ton of pigment. It's very natural. So if that sounds like something that you would like or that you would use, I would highly recommend it. I think it's a beautiful product. I think it's very different. I love the finish. I love that you get a pump and the doe foot. I say absolutely highly recommend this product. I will wear it, like I said, and update the description box for you if I notice anything in the wear by the end of the day. But overall, I'm really happy with it, and I think it's a great product. But thank you so much for watching this video. I will have these linked for you in the description box, and I will link the brush I used and everything else I have on my face as well. I do use affiliate links that support my channel when you use them. If you do, thank you so much. It really does help and just helps me continue to keep the channel going, buy new products, update my equipment, etc. So thank you so much. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you.